All right, everybody, we're going to start our titration here. Again, we've got silver nitrate in our burette. We've got potassium chloride, a known quantity in our flask, and our indicator is our potassium chromate. So what's going to happen is that the silver nitrate is going to react with the chloride to form silver chloride, and when all of that is used up, then the silver ions would actually react with the chromate ions, the yellow stuff, and then form a reddish precipitate. Now the reddish mixed with the white is going to make this look buff, and the color of the tray here, that's buff. It's sort of a yellow mixed with a little bit with red. Now, because I know how much I measured out and I have a rough idea about my concentration here, I know that I'm going to use around 5 milliliters. If I didn't know that, I could do what I call a dummy trial. I could add my titrant, the silver nitrate, quickly and get an approximate amount, and then do maybe 2 good trials that are really close to each other. But in this case, I happen to know approximately how much I can use, and so I'm going to add this maybe a little bit quicker than I normally would. And so you can kind of set this so it's adding drop-wise, and then you can be mixing as you go along. And you can kind of see it went from a transparent, yellow to a cloudy yellow because we're making silver chloride, which is a white precipitate. As you add the titrant, you can even see it turns red, but then it reacts preferentially. The silver reacts preferentially with the chloride. Okay, so I'm going to keep kind of mixing this and looking at my burette. Maybe add this a little bit faster here. So even as I'm adding this, one thing that I'm noticing, and it might be hard to tell from the picture there, but as I'm adding this, the red color is persisting a little bit longer. So in that way, I sort of know I'm reaching the end point when that color of my titrant is getting to be, it stays a little bit longer before it goes away. I slowed down my drop, so I'm trying to add more like 1 drop at a time. All right, so we're getting pretty close to the end point here. And again, what we're looking for, our endpoint is a color change when it turns a different color than it was previously, and remains there. So I'm getting the red, but as I swirl it, it goes away. One thing that we can do now with our smartphones and our smart devices is you can almost take a picture of what it kind of looks like beforehand and then compare it to what it looks like afterwards is one way of thinking about it. Once we get our color change, what we'll do is we'll add another drop and see if we get a different kind of change. And I'll show you what I mean by that once we get to it. I think I am getting pretty close to the end point here. Maybe one more. That actually could be it. Yeah, I think that's it right there. So a little hard to tell here. The lighting isn't great here, but this is definitely not the yellow that we had here. It's kind of the color of the tray here. So it's a yellow with a red. And so right here, I think I nailed my endpoint. And so what I'm going to do, and anytime that you think you got the endpoint, record your final volume. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to add another drop. And if the color gets a whole lot darker, then I'll know I'll have reached my endpoint because all of the chloride in this case would be gone. All right, so I'm at about 6.85. And so I'll add another drop here, and based upon adding this one drop, if I get a really dark color change, then I'll know I had previously hit my endpoint. If I don't get a color change, then what that tells me is that I hadn't reached it. So I got a lot darker in that case, so I know I had previously reached my endpoint. All right, thanks for watching, everybody.